Originally, this event was held in the Pacific Rim Exchange Band of Islands in November 2007. Since that time, the Pacific Rim Exchange has joined the global community of Skoolaborate, which now includes some 30 schools from 10 different countries. This has given us a much larger pool of teachers and students to collaborate with, and a wider variety of online resources to supplement our events in Second Life. Though the goals of the Pacific Rim Exchange remain intact, our projects now need to be adapted to account for more schools, more participants, and more opportunities to increase the educational value for our students. This video will give you an idea of how our events are done now that we are a part of the larger community of Skoolaborate. The Skoolaborate Island Mass in Second Life is divided into 4 areas, each with a different theme: living, social action, culture, and learning. In our case, we wanted to recreate a Japanese festival virtually and share it with our friends abroad. So naturally, this type of event would be held on one of our cultural islands. After deciding on a location and theme, the next step was to choose a specific festival to celebrate. Without exaggeration, Kyoto is the most important cultural city in Japan, and one of the most historically unique places in the world. It wasn't very difficult to settle on a festival that would incorporate our local landmarks and remain somewhat true to the real-life event. After some quick discussion with the students, we decided on one of the 3 major festivals held annually in Kyoto, called Jidaimatsuri. Jidaimatsuri translates into English as Festival of Ages or Festival of Eras. The event, held every autumn, commemorates the 6 historical eras of Kyoto's imperial rule over Japan, beginning with the Heian, then Kamakura, Muromachi, Azuchi Momoyama, Edo, and finally, the Meiji period, when the capital was moved to Tokyo. Like many other festivals here, the main event is a parade through the city with participants dressed in traditional attire. In this case, the procession is divided into 6 groups, each one representing a different time period. The beauty of the Jidai Festival is that each of these eras has an incredibly unique look and feel to it, and watching the parade pass through some of the more preserved areas in the city can give the impression of observing the past, as it were, about 1,000 years ago. So, we set out to try and recreate that same experience in Second Life. We decided early on that this would be a group project, and each group would be comprised of 5 or 6 people. Each group was assigned to a time period, and then let loose on the computer to collect images of the things they would like to create. Yahoo and Google image searches seemed to be their method of choice, but some students stumbled upon Flickr and other photo sharing sites that they had never really considered before. In both cases, this research period proved to be beneficial in helping them broaden their knowledge of online resources and locating specific items they were looking for, such as a particular samurai's coat of armor or a famous poet's kimono. Some of the more ambitious students scoured the internet for multiple images of a temple or shrine they planned to build, and one went as far as locating the actual measurements. It was interesting to see how differently each student approached the project in terms of preparation, and after a couple of classes we had enough reference material to begin building and designing. Preparing for the event started 3 months beforehand. The students have computer English immersion class 2 times a week, and we dedicated the entire fall term to this project. While 3 months sounds like a lot, keep in mind that the students were learning some very valuable skills throughout, and rather than adding this project to their coursework, we actually incorporated some of their original curriculum into the project. For example, creating textures to place on your avatar and temples requires that the students learn how to use applications like Photoshop or GIMP, which we would be teaching in the fall anyhow. In addition, Second Life's building tools could be considered a type of novice-level 3D modeling software. This is important to point out because most 3D modeling programs are far too complex to cover in a high school computer class. On the other hand, Second Life's building tools are designed to be intuitive enough for anyone to learn. And though it cannot replicate the advanced features of a professional software application like AutoCAD or Maya, students begin to understand the basic concept of creating two-dimensional textures in Photoshop and slapping them on three-dimensional objects or avatars in Second Life. Thus, in the process of making kimonos or Japanese temples for their Jidaimatsuri event, the students are also learning computer skills that can be applied in a number of other areas. Should they choose to move on to professional grade applications, at least Second Life has provided them with a significant step in that direction. To keep everyone focused on the educational aspects of the event, we created an online unit to provide background information on Japanese history and the real-life festival held in Kyoto, complete with videos, images, and text information. We also included a page at the end for students and teachers to leave comments about the project and to suggest improvements for the next time we host an event.